Okay, hey guys. Now, I listen. I'm all down for the kid slander. I love slander. I love this whole narrative shit. I love it. Gojo versus versus Sukuna is one of the best shit ever because of the narratives. You know what I mean? I love when like the toxicity, in the air, yum yum. When it's not too crazy, of course. When it's fun and games, when it's like fraud kuna and all of that. But in this time, I want to talk about it when it comes to kid. Kid is not a fraud, ladies and gentlemen. I know it sounds crazy. Kid is just not a fraud. And I'll explain why. Green Bull is really, really strong, right? He's an admiral, and he was terrified of Shanks, right? Um, and now that you're gonna say, so are the admirals scared of Yonkos? No, I'll tell you the admirals that aren't scared of Yonkos, right? Kuzan, right? Akaino, right? And obviously Kuzan. The three original admirals ain't scared of shit, right? They are ready to throw down with any Yonko anytime, bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't care. Now they're nerfed whenever they're about to, but they are ready to throw down with anybody. They don't really they'll kind of like Akaino is the only one that's like active. The rest of these guys are lazy as hell. Kuzan like chilling as hell, but he's like, bro, should I beat you or not? You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you Kuzan like Kuzan is always chill as hell. Um, Kizaru, I forgot to say Kizaru as well when I was mentioning the original admirals. I think I said Kuzan and Kaino, and I didn't say Kizaru. But Kizaru, he's like chill as well. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna just beat you with my punches and kicks and lightning. And we know he fought Riley. Riley didn't die, but obviously Kizaru wasn't injured either. And Kizaru is the one that's pulling up on Egghead Island. You know what I'm saying? So listen, again, to Kid, this is important here because when Luffy got one-shotted by Kaido, nobody said he was a flop. Nobody said anything, right? And we know that Kid tanked hits from Kaido, so, and Big Mom, and yet he was fine. Obviously, what Shanks did was on a completely different level, and it's clear that Shanks is stronger than the other Yonkos, so that's probably why that happened. So I think that's the kind of the problem here. We don't know the difference between the Yonkos within themselves the same way we know kind of the so we kind of know the difference between the admirals. Like we know that they're all very relative because of the 10-day fight that they had in Punk Hazard that created Punk Hazard as it is. So same situation here. I don't think is the same with the Yonkos because admirals I think have to be a certain level, especially the original admirals, because I think they had to deal with Roger. They were around June Rogers' time and shit like that, so they really had to go through the Ringo type shit. And I think Grinbull and them will eventually become that powerful, but I don't think they are yet. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is, again, I know I'm talking about other people apart from Kid, but this is important because I think Kid getting one shot is not that big of a deal against somebody that's so powerful that scared Green Bull that easily. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously a monster, right? And it just goes to show like Shanks has been built up since like chapter 1. You know what I mean? He's going to be absolutely broken. He also has connections with the Gorosei, all of that. So or the planets, you know what I mean? So as a result, like he was always gonna be busted, right? So him one-shotting Kid, I think Kid also wasn't like, ready for it type shit. You know what I mean? I think he was kind of like, yeah, this is gonna be a battle, and then his whole ship and him just got annihilated in one shot. And it's kind of like how Kid also got one shot by Kaido before and got imprisoned, but Kid has conquerors because he's unwilling to give up. You know what I'm saying? I think if Kid was awake during that time, he would rather die than give up the poneglyphs, right? But obviously his team is not gonna do that. His team isn't gonna allow that. But he would 100% do it. You know what I'm saying? Now for his team, I think he'd do the opposite, right? For Killer and that, I think he'd do the opposite where he'd give up everything for them. And I think that's what's important there. So I think Kid is gonna come back, and I think he's gonna come back a lot stronger, and I think he's gonna prove people wrong. I think he's going to play a key role in the final, crusade towards the Laugh Tale. I think Law as well. I think them being defeated is important here. I think is Law and Kid being defeated is a part of the narrative because Shanks is eventually gonna fight, Straw Hat Luffy, because Shanks is finally gonna also try to go to Laugh Tale. And I think Kizaru, I think, is gonna do a lot better than people think he will do in Egghead Island. I think he's going to dominate, bro. I think he's going to, but again, he can't destroy the island. He can't go all out, and we know that these admirals can destroy islands. At least the three original admirals, right? So, but the two, obviously, we can say that Kuzan and Akaino might be above Kizaru, only because they were the two that were tutored to become the next, fleet admiral, right? And Kizaru wasn't involved. But I think it's also because Kizaru just doesn't care. He literally goes, I'm just following orders. Like, Kizaru just wants to be in a decent position of power. And he's always chilling. He's always eating. He's always just, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited to see what happens. But I think, calling Kid a fraud is actually kind of missing the point of the narrative. He's clearly strong enough if he teamed up with Law to defeat Big Mom. Now, obviously, Law did a lot of the heavy lifting, but he tanked attacks from Kaido. He tanked attacks from Big Mom. He held his own. It's not like they were knocked out at any point. Luffy was knocked out like 10 times by Kaido, but nobody says anything. You know what I'm saying? Kid and Law wasn't out of the fight once. They was in the fight the whole time. So, but Luffy needed like 10 breaks and 10 fucking opportunities to come back, time to heal and eat, and come back and fight again, heal and eat, come back and fight again, heal and eat, come back and fight again, get an insane transformation after dying, basically. So, like, I think it's kind of unfair to say that Kid can't be granted this L.